Good morning and welcome to Trans-West Truck Trailer RV. Happy Monday and welcome to the Super C Showdown. So we're going to start off today with a video about a C-Class versus a 6.7 liter ISB versus a 3.5 liter Cummins. So all of these RVs are fantastic. They're great offerings. We're just going to kind of go over some of the benefits of each one of them so that you can help yourself with your shopping decision and pick out the one that's right for your family. My name is Katie O'Neill. I'm at 303-562-8659. Again, 303-562-8659. And I am here in a really beautiful sunny day in Frederick, Colorado at Trans-West Truck Trailer RV. You can always find us doing a video every day, Monday through Friday at TTTRV. Or you can find me at RVs Inside Out, both on YouTube or like this place, live on Facebook. So Jody, as usual, let's go ahead and start from the inside out. Take her on back. We are going to start off with this Ford. This is a beautiful 2021 Forester by Forest River. This was a trade-in. It's stock number 5U220262, and she is available. Really nice RV, great space, really nice layout here. Today's goal is just to really show you some of the things that you get with each model and to explain to you towing capacity, engine power, and the like. So this is a gas engine. This is a Ford V10. It's got a six-speed transmission and a ton of storage here. Super nice. So this is a 3-slide vehicle. We're going to be looking at the other two, which are 2 slides, and you'll find that they all have a lot of room. This 3rd slide gives you a lot of walking room around this bedroom. Of course, you've got this really nice queen-size bed. And what's interesting about this bed is that it actually slides forward. And as you can see, there's a split here. So this mattress is super comfortable, but the whole back end of this coach comes in. And that's what gives you the capacity of having a 27-foot coach. So just under 28 feet, 27.08. This is a great RV with lots and lots of room. There's a television here in the bedroom. There's lots of windows for cross ventilation. You've got a 13,500 BTU heat pump and air conditioner. You've also got a nice fan up here in the bedroom, so lots of fresh air to be had. I love this section here, so we can actually separate this bathroom by this door, so I could stay sleeping in the morning, and then maybe Jody's making me a cup of coffee, not bothering me. Maybe somebody's here in the bathroom taking a shower. I love these little towel racks on this door. Really nice square shower. I always talk about I like square showers because you get a little more elbow room. And as you can see, you've got a really nice skylight here, so you've got lots of bright light. You've got a porcelain potty down below, so nice seating area. You've got a few robe hooks on the wall and a fantastic fan here, so lots of fresh air in the loo. And then down here we'll have another, let's go ahead and close this up, separation. So I have right here another little compartment that I can close, so if I want to have maybe getting ready for doing my hair, getting dried off, getting dressed after taking a shower, a little privacy that way. And then pretty decent sized medicine cabinet, nice undermount sink as well. Little 110 outlets up here so you can use your hair dryer. So this is going to be a vinyl wrapped product. I love the color of these cabinets. They're really, really beautiful. And you'll see the client that traded this in has actually put that vegetable liner that I use in my RV all the time, a few different places just to help for the rattles and squeaks. A 10 cubic foot Magic Chef refrigerator. So this is a compression refrigerator, which means although this coach does have hydraulic leveling jacks, if you don't have this coach leveled, you'll still be able to use your refrigerator. It won't, go off because it's too tilted. It also means that you don't need to be running it off propane. It's all electric. So that's very nice. And as you can see, lots and lots of capacity here. Big freezer. And then here we have a 3-burner propane cooktop. And again, there's that material just so you don't have those rattles going down the road. And I do really like the little backsplash that they've given you here just to keep things off the side. One thing that's nice about this coach is they've actually given you this great undermount microwave and convection oven. So just a little extra space here. This is a larger microwave and convection than you'll find in a lot of coaches in this C-Class segment. And because it's mounted down below, you have a great drawer here, but you have a little extra storage space up here. So this coach has really fantastic storage. So this RV has a 9.8 gallon propane tank, a 44 gallon freshwater capacity, and then it has a 39 gray water tank and a 39 gallon black water tank as well. So decent capacities, much better than that of some of the B classes, and also better than a lot of the C classes out there in the world. Again, really nice undermount stainless steel sink. I love this feature here. So lots of storage right here underneath so that you can get to your cleaning supplies. And then great drawer storage here as well. There's your whole house water filter, so a fresh filter. This RV only has 3,300 miles on it. You've got a 110 outlet here, but your trash can goes over here. And there's access to it from not only here at the kitchen, but also from here from outside. So if you've got any cans that you'd like to put in there, you can reach there right really easily, or you've got your top mount right here. So this booth here is convertible. As you can see, we've got a really nice pantry space right here. So lots of room for your pantry. Great drawer storage as well. And then up here, you've got overhead storage. So really good overhead storage. I want to measure this because we're going to measure. There's 12 feet of overhead storage in the Verona, which is just incredible. But this is really, you know, giving it a good run for its money. Let's see if I can get it just to stay right there. So we're looking at just over 6 feet of storage here. So a lot of overhead storage, great place to put bins. You can label them with a label maker, put them in alphabetical order. But so this is that third slide. And then this convertible dinette also has storage on both sides under the booth. And it has seat belts for 3. So you've got a total capacity of 5 seat belts in this unit. And you have a really, really nice amount of space. This is really tall. This is actually one of the best bunk over cabs that we're going to look at today. This is 58 inches deep, so super, super deep, but even more so, it's 32 inches tall, so super tall. This just slides into place like this, and you've got a really nice mattress up top. So great place to have, you know, if you've got some adult children, you could definitely have them come here, put the littles maybe in the booth. And then this television slides out so everyone can watch it. So one of the differences in this coach is you've got 2 TVs on the inside. So not a huge difference, but for those of you that are trying to have a little separation, you'll notice in the next 2 models that we look at, there's a television here in the bunk, and then there's one over the door. Here over the door though, you have this nice Connect system. The Connect system is really cool. You can actually put your TV on and have surround sound through it, the RV. Little storage here as well. And then, whoop, there we go. Put that back where it goes. I want to talk a little bit about the cab. So 55 gallon fuel capacity. This is going to be the V10. Ford did come out with a V8 with very, very similar horsepower and torque ratings. You just get a little more bang for your buck, if you will. This RV has a torque rating of 420 foot-pounds and a 305 horsepower capacity. So all of that being said, really, really nice cab. One of the things I super like about this RV is the fact that this Sony station that you have here has both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So because this coach is only 11.25 feet tall, a little bit shorter than the other coaches that we're looking at in this segment. We're going to be looking at 2 coaches that are 12 feet 9 inches tall. Again, so this one's at 11 1/4. You can use your Android Auto for Google Maps. I think there's about 60 different applications you can use for your Apple CarPlay, Spotify, all those things. So really nice interface there. And of course, Ford makes a fantastic product, easy to get serviced. Another thing we want to talk about is going to be here. So equalizer leveling system. So all three of these coaches are going to have the equalizer leveling system. And another thing that we'll talk about here is that in this model we do have these steps which are all contained inside of the unit, so there's not going to get any water or debris on the outside. And then also a really nice screen door here, so if you do have dogs, you can go ahead and close this up, or cats, and they'll stay inside. So that's a nice feature, great screen door. Another thing that's interesting, so Hellwig is a sway control, so you've got reinforcement in terms of sway control, shocks, so struts. So everything on this RV is designed to be a little more comfortable than others in that C-class segment. And then let's talk about storage. So one of the big rubs I have with some of the C classes out there, or the B classes, is where do you put everything? So this storage is pretty nice, 18 inches deep. It's going to be about, I think we did about 24 inches across. So pretty decent there. Again, we talked earlier about your propane capacity, 9.8 gallon propane tank here. And then also all three of these RVs that we're looking at are going to have outside entertainment. So here's your outdoor entertainment here. Nice that you have a television. I do like that on the Renegade product you will have a sound bar as well out here. We actually use a sound bar quite a bit. But if you want to watch the game, hang out, have a few beers, hang out by the fire. Also, we've got a great awning. As you can see, this is going to roll down. So you've got the Solera that'll come down. And then you'll also notice that we have slide toppers the whole way across. So all of these slides have toppers on them in all of the RVs that we're looking at today. Here's another nice storage area. This coach is currently winterized, so there is your whole house water filter. And then we're gonna just go ahead and say about 32 inches, about 18 inches there on the opening. And then again, 18 inches in terms of overall depth. So where this is, for me, kind of saved is I love the fact that you actually have quite a bit of rear storage back here. So this is a great place to keep lawn chairs. And then that longer storage is super nice because, of course, you know, you're going to have fishing poles and your broom. You know, everyone has to have a broom for the inside of their RV. Maybe paddles if you're like one of those teams that has hockey sticks or baseball gear. So that upper level is about 44 inches, and then it's about 6 feet to the door. And then here you're going to have just about 11 inches high, and then in terms of overall width, it's going to be just about 2 feet wide in there. And then this storage capacity here is really large at 26 inches deep and 32 inches tall, with about a 2 foot wide opening. So really, really nice storage on this RV. It's accessible from both sides. And then again, we'll talk about this. So you've got a 7,500 pound towing capacity. So really, really nice there. Here's your 30 amp connector. So that's great. Access to your roof in case you want to hang out on the roof of your RV for some reason. Get a lot of people who want to know about that. Here's your water filling right here, little gravity fill. And then here's the other half of that storage. So pretty nice storage overall for this segment. If you're looking to go out boondocking, honestly 44 gallons is not a huge amount of water, but with that gravity fill it's pretty easy to be able to fill it up. Here's your wet bay. You have an outdoor shower. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this is a 55 gallon fuel capacity. And this is going to be that E450 engine with a 7,500 pound hitch. And this one is right at 19 inches as well. And then we're looking at just over 2 feet across and about 11 inches tall. So great storage on this coach. Certainly, you know, not more than you're going to have in a Super C, but definitely good storage. A little more here underneath. There's some anchor points for those seat belts as well. You can see those. But, you know, good use of space by Forest River. Of course, these guys have been in the market for a long time. You do notice that on the next two coaches we'll look at are going to have a full paint finish. This is going to have a decal, but they're really attractive. It's a nice look. And the other thing that's kind of nice about them is as they age, they're going to age gracefully because they're kind of a nice light gray color. So I think really pretty. And then, oh, almost lost it there. I think that this is where we're going to find our quiet diesel generator. And I must have, did I skip a bay? I might have skipped a bay. Let's go back one. There we go. This is the larger bay on this side. So great bay storage overall. Certainly a lot more for those of you looking to go out and go camping. Lots of room for tackle boxes. Of course, we talked a little bit about that cab up top being comfortable, but you can see those vented windows there. And then this is a nice short entry. So a one-stepper. Pretty cool here. Nice, easy to see. Good position on the steering wheel. This coach has 3,318 miles on it. Great trade-in. They did love camping, but they also did want a little extra storage and moved up into the Nexus Ghost, so into the Super C segment. And that's a great segue into what we're going to look at next. So here on this S2 RV chassis made by Freightliner, we've got a 6-speed transmission in the Ford. We also have a 6-speed transmission in both of these Renegades. This is going to be an Allison transmission. Engine brake is going to be a difference. Access to the engine is going to be a difference. So a little bit easier to get into for you that are going to do your own service. Look at the size of that air filter. It's crazy. This is a 2019. So this is a really, really nice example of kind of how well Renegade holds up. It's in really good condition. You've got your side cameras here, your convex chrome heated mirrors. And as I mentioned earlier, from a single step to a triple step. But one of the things that's really nice about Freightliner is they make these RVs easy to get into because they give you lots of handles. So it's really simple to be able to get up into this cab. For those of you that are concerned about accessibility, I'm going to leave this at the door. I've got a sheet for every RV, lots to cover today, but really, really nice, solid construction here. And then we talked a little bit about the interior steps. So here you've got interior and exterior steps. This little walkway that we're going up right now has a great place to keep your shoes. Really like that. And Jody, we'll go ahead and start from the back again. So again, this is a Valencia. This is a 38 RW, so rear wardrobe. This is stock number 5U220020, and this is going to be the Cummins ISB. So we've changed engine manufacturers. We're going to stick with this manufacturer through the end of this segment. There's also a Detroit out there for you that are looking, you know, if you want to get to those big dogs like that DD13, DD17. So all of that being said, this is a 6.7 liter ISB. It's going to have 800 foot-pounds of torque, and this coach has a ton of storage. So really nice, as you probably, you know, got by the name. A rear W, or RW is for rear wardrobe. So this coach at 38 feet, 2 inches long, has a huge rear wardrobe. I love this overhead storage. I do believe that this was taken off the market earlier this week, but it won't be the last one we see. This is almost 2 feet deep. So huge, huge storage capacity. And as you can see, up in Elkhart, Indiana, where Renegade manufactures their product, the Amish take great pride in these fantastic shaker cabinets. Just really, really nice. Again, this RV has 44,000 miles on it, so it was certainly used, but as you can see, it's just really stood the test of time. Great, great bedroom here. Another nice thing that you're going to get when you have these longer RVs is you're going to have room for a washer and dryer. So you've got your Splendide stackable washer and dryer here in the bedroom. You're also going to notice that the televisions all got a little bit bigger, so the bigger television here in the bedroom, a little more wardrobe storage, And then the other big difference between the C-Class segment and the Super C segment is going to be water capacity. So under this bed we have 150 gallon water capacity, and we have a 75 gallon gray water tank and a 75 gallon black water tank, and just a lot more cabinet storage. So if you're going to be out on the road enjoying, you know, the United States, as everyone really should, because we are just so blessed to live in this country, this is a great RV to get out and maybe stay out a little bit longer. Still love this concept of having the separation of the bedroom from a place to do my hair, from the shower and the toilet. So really, really nice mid-bath model. Again, a porcelain potty, a little bit larger shower, a little bit higher. You'll notice that I'm reaching up here, and when we get to the Verona, I'll have to kind of stretch. So all of these just get a little bit taller as they go, but great, great segment here. Again, just nice that you can, you know, really get some separation. And these are solid doors, so pretty cool. Lots of storage here in this mid-bath as well. And this towing capacity is going to go from a 7,500 pound towing capacity to 12,000. One of the bigger differences, though, when you leave a gas segment and you go into the diesel segment, you hear people say that all the time. Why might you want to have a diesel engine? Well, it's turbo diesel injection. So at that, what that means is when you have turbo diesel injector, what happens is they're compressing that oxygen, so you're getting a very consistent bang for your buck. It's actually weighed, measured inside of that little compartment, and it knows when it's got enough compression, and that's when it ignites. So you're going to have a very equal level of power at any altitude. So whether you're at sea level or at 14,000 feet, you're going to have that 800 foot-pounds of torque. So that's a really attractive aspect of this coach. The other thing that you have is torque is what you're going to be using to go up the hill or off the line. So going from 420 horsepower or 420 foot-pounds of torque versus 800 foot-pounds of torque versus 1,150, all of those are going to be related to your towing capacity. So this coach has a great infrastructure in that from Freightliner, but what's really nice about it is that it's got a really solid 12,000 pound hitch. So if you've got a larger vehicle and you'd like to be able to, you know, take that up and down the Rocky Mountains or maybe the Appalachians or the Sierra Nevadas, wherever it is that you're on vacation, you're going to have a little more oomph to get you up that hill. So here in the mid, we're going to talk about the pantry again. So of course we saw in the Forester we had a really nice pantry. For all of you women who I see, and men, yanking on this thing, like I'll catch them, they're pulling on it. There's a lever right here to release, and that brings your slide out pantry out here. This is a really, really nice pantry. As you can see, it's adjustable in terms of height. It's got tons of drawer space. It comes all the way out so you can load things all the way back. You've got a huge drawer here, which is great. And then you also have storage here underneath. And you're going to have 2 forward-facing seat belts. You would have 3 there if you weren't in the captain's chairs. So in a Valencia like this, you could have seating for up to 7 people. So versus the 5 to 7, that's a big deal. It just depends on how you're planning on getting there. If you're not going to be having, 5 people in the or 7 people in the RV, not such a big deal. But for those of you who have maybe yourself, 2 kids and their friends, it's nice to be able to bring everybody in the rig on your camping trip. This is a great amount of storage once again. Just fantastic. Again, 44,000 miles on this coach, which I know is just a drop in the bucket, but look at how nice this RV has handled itself over the last 3 years. Just really, really great condition. All the hinges are super steady. One of the differences you're going to find between a 19 and a 22 is here where we have our Firefly panel. In the 22, we're going to be able to control this from our phone. So we can put our slides in and out from our phone, which is kind of cool. And we will still have the High Point microwave and convection oven. Lots and lots of room here. You can bake cookies or you can microwave a burrito, and that's going to be the same in all 3. You're also going to have a 3-burner stove here. This propane system is a little different in that it's run off of a 20-gallon propane tank instead of a 9.8 liter gallon propane tank. I like that they have a towel rack here. Here's the brains of the operation, so all of your circuit breakers and fuses right here, easy to get to, and then tons and tons of drawer storage, all soft close. Again, just really, really a testament to how nice these coaches are made out there in Napanee, Indiana. And then we also talked about the overhead storage compartment. I'll tell you, the Forester is going to win this one against the Valencia, because this is only going to be 54 inches across. And there's, of course, this little tilted segment down here, but you lose quite a bit of room. And this is a great place to keep puzzles, and I really, really like the idea of stacking those shoe boxes and alphabetizing them, so you can have flashlights and batteries and, you know, bug spray, all the stuff that you need when you're out camping. Now, that being said, really, really nice recliner setup, and what a great overhead cab. So this bunk over cab, again, I know we measured the Forester, which is really, really big, but this is going to be right there at 5 feet, so 60 inches versus the 58 that you saw next door. So great, great bunk over cab area. And then we mentioned earlier, this has got its own private television, so you've got your Sansui up here with the kids having their own DVD control. You got your curtain. They wanted to watch Frozen for the 5 millionth time, they could do that. And then you have your separate television for the rest of the adults here, and everyone could be hanging up watching the game while the kids are watching a movie. You're going to have an undermount sink, single basin. Big plus in my book. I like a single basin undermount sink. Of course, all of these high polish, solid countertops are pretty nice as well. And then look at all this room underneath. So really, really love that. 3,000 watt Magnum inverter. Let's see, 10-gallon water heater, 20-gallon LP tank. I know we talked about that. We talked about the 12,000 pound hitch. And 38 feet, 2 inches long, 100-gallon fuel capacity. Now, where that's important is you have an 8 kilowatt generator on here that just sips diesel. So to have a 100-gallon fuel capacity is really, really nice, because you're going to be able to use it all that much longer. In the cab here, next door we had in the Forester steel wheels. We've got these nice aluminum wheels. Again, we have the equalizer sound or leveling system, and we have these air ride seats. So again, Allison transmission, Garmin navigation system. You're going to need to get a Garmin navigation system in a coach like this, because you need something that actually measures your weight and also your dimensions, so that you don't go driving into a bridge. Here's all your control for the slides. And again, moving into 2022, you're going to have everything available to you on your phone. So a little bit different, but still just a really nice execution on this coach. And then we're just going to make sure we show this in all of these models. So again, nice screen door. This is a big deal. And a lot of these Class Bs, you got that really cool magnetic entrance and exit. And where you just lose a little bit of that benefit is that you have, you know, if you've got a dog that's got any kind of inertia or momentum, they can just get right out of the coach, where this is going to go ahead and be, you know, nice and shut tight. Keep your cat inside. Don't take your cat camping. Probably get eaten. Just kidding, take your kitty. Lots of people bring their kitties camping. So these are great storage bays. This is going to be where you start to get into this longer time out on the road. Boondocking is when you have all this extra storage capacity. I do like, again, that we have these Jensen speakers out here running off of, you know, Bluetooth, so I don't just have to watch a movie. I could also just, you know, go ahead and listen to some Hendrix, hang out underneath my awning. You'll notice here that this Carefree awning does not have arms, so it's got kind of elbows and it comes out this way. It also has an LED light underneath up top, which is super cool. Look at the size of this bay though. Holy macaroni! Lots of bay storage here. Get a lot of questions about how wide these bay doors are. And there's one guy who always tells me not to measure things, but there's about 50 people who tell me to measure everything. So that's 55 inches long. In terms of depth, I'm going to need to pull that one out a little bit more. We've got about 28 inches in terms of overall depth. And then in terms of height, you've got about 24 inches of height. So for those of you that are like to just kind of talk about things that make coaches useful, I love this cabinet system. He did a great job installing this. How useful is that? I think that that's awesome. And it's in all of the bays. Another huge bay here. And this one is going to be just 56, so just about the same. Look at all of this storage. Oh my gosh. Paddle boards, all of your, wood for your fire pit. For those of you that can camp outside of Colorado where there's always a fire ban. 4-foot door here. Again, all of these are going to have just about the same depth right there at 28 inches. And then your height, once again, is going to be right there. This is about 21 inches tall. And then here's that air chock up here. If you want to air up your tires, you can do that from outside here. And you'll note that there's little grommets at all of these bays, so you can run your cords outside of those bays as well. Another huge storage bay here in the back. Call this one about 41 inches across, same depth. I love these dual hitches or dual latches on the doors. You know that they're shut nice and solid. And then you'll notice here we talked about that paint. So you've got this full paint finish throughout the entire exterior of this coach. Of course, we still have our slide toppers. Really fantastic slide system by Renegade. We always have in all of these, and it's not a given, but in the 3 models we're looking at today, which I like all of them a lot for different reasons, this is a 38-foot coach, right? So for something shorter, this is a fantastic offering. For something longer, this is so much RV, but having this separate bumper from your fiberglass end cap means if you have a little oopsie, you're not having to replace the entire thing, which means less time in the shop. The expense is covered by your insurance company. The time in the shop is not covered by the insurance company. That's just time you lose camping over the summer. Okay, so 12,000 pound towing capacity. You got your 7-pin connector here. Really nice mirrored back. There's your rear view camera, again side view, rear view cameras. When you turn your signals in all of these units, left and right hand turn is going to show you what's next to you. And then you've got these great backup cameras. So when we get into this Super C segment by Renegade, they have an optional 36-foot long power cord reel. Really just saves you a lot of space in this bay. There's another one of those grommets that we talked about just a few minutes ago. And then got your surge protector built in here as well. And then I know we mentioned this earlier. Here is that 8,000 watt Cummins quiet diesel generator. Again, just one of those nice things that allows you to stay out camping a little bit longer. So when we talk about differences between the Verona and the Valencia, one of the differences is your fuel filling station is back here and your DEF tank is up front. Oddly enough, this is a smaller coach with a 10-gallon DEF tank versus the Verona, which has a 6-gallon DEF tank. So it's good that it's up front next to the diesel because you'll have to be filling it up more often. Not a huge deal, but just worth noting. So here in your water bay, you'll notice that we have, it's so funny, they still, they carve this out with a water jet. So this low point drain, for instance, is never gonna fade or come off. There's your whole house water filter. So cool the way that Renegade actually kind of carves those in. And then here is your gray water and black water station. And again, these have heat strips on them. So instead of having, like you do in the forest or something where you're running your furnace and trying to keep those bays warm down below, this is actually using a heat strip to keep these from freezing. So maybe a little bit longer camping season for you. And then there's the big dog. So 9.8 gallons versus 20 gallons of propane. What does that mean to you? It just means you're not stopping as often. One of the nice features about a Verona is you're not stopping at all. There's no propane on the unit. It's just running off of diesel, solar, and hydronic heat. Okay, so here in this bay we have 3 AGM batteries running the house, 2 for the chassis. You've got your chassis disconnect is in this bay, and the Verona it's under the seat. So just wanted to point that out. And in the Verona, this is the bay where you would find the air chock. Here, of course, it's in that other bay we already covered. Here's your 10-gallon def tank. And then air ride seats. We'll still have air ride seats in both cabs. These are going to be by Flex Steel. Flex Steel is no longer in the business, so we did change manufacturers, but still great seats. And then this has got the optional brake controller already integrated into the coach. Super, super nice there. Again, really easy to get into. Plug in for your engine block heater. And I think we already talked about access here. And again, this is the S2 RV chassis. This is going to be the ISB, and this is going to be a 6.7 liter Cummins, 800 foot-pounds of torque, and 360 horsepower. Please note that everything you see in there in red is Cummins. Everything else in black is going to be Freightliner. It's a great way to communicate to a technician as to what they're looking for. And of course, Freightliner is fantastic because you're driving a semi-truck, and we all know that semi-trucks are largely used for commerce. So your turnaround time when you pull in, if you tell them that you've got a semi-truck, that gets you in the shop. So that's a much nicer thing than having to try to get in line these days, especially for some of these other Mercedes-Benz chassis, which just take months to get into. Okay, so dual fill, we talked about that being a difference here. So dual fill, still 100-gallon tank capacity, still really easy to get inside of. We talked about the fact that you have all of these different anchor points to get up into the cab. So that's really, really nice. Of course, when you're looking at these cabs, it's important to understand all of these have a seam in the fiberglass end caps that it's underneath. It's not against the front. So you're going to have a lot less potential for air leakage or water leakage into the coach. So that's a really nice thing, and that's going to be synonymous between all three of them. All three of these are going to have very nice seams that are underneath the bunk over cab area. Again, we have the stairs that deploy a lot lower to the ground. We've got a 3-step function on the way up. And Jody, as usual, let's go ahead and start from the inside out. Okay, so now we're moving into an 8.9 liter Cummins. This is over 40 feet. So this is a bunk house model. Of course, we do make a VRB, which is going to be a bath and a half model. We make a 36 VSB, which is a mid-bath model. So there's a bunch of different options in this segment. Just happens to be that Jason's RV came in this weekend, so I thought, what a nice opportunity to really show off a fantastic product. This is a 2022. So again, I just love this storage over top. And what's interesting is if you look at how when I open this cab or this cabinet, it's staying up just the same as it did on the 19. So really, really nice, super solid construction. In this bedroom, you have a nice window above the bed, so a little extra light. 110 outlets with USB ports. You have in this model one nightstand, so they give you these other 2 nightstands on either side. So up top, flanking this headboard, you still have a place to keep your water bottle. So these are really, really great wardrobes. I love the way that as we've gotten further into the LED light segment, we have these little lights that just turn on when you open the cabinet. And then this is removable. So if you want to bring all of your ball gowns with you on vacation, you have plenty of room. No, I'm just kidding. A great place probably for wetsuits or snowmobiling garb, whatever it is that you might have. And then I wanted to show, and I did this to Jody last time, but I love underneath here, there's actually a little pole to be able to prop this up. But look at that great storage underneath there. I remember the first time I showed that to someone, they walked in and go, "Oh, I could put my guns in there." And I was like, yeah, you sure could. You put a lot of guns in there. But yeah, for those of you that are hunters or just that have kids with lots of stuff, hockey sticks, I don't know, whatever, that's kind of nice. Again, we're talking this larger segment when you get into the Super Cs. There's power, there's performance, and there's fantastic washer and dryers next to big beds where you can fold everything. What does a washer and dryer do for you? Honestly, it just means you don't have to bring as much stuff. You got a few pairs of jeans, a few pairs of shorts, some socks, do a few loads of laundry, stay out camping, don't have to haul as much stuff with you. These pocket doors are so crazy solid. So for those of you that want to keep the kids out, have a little private time, there's a lock on there, extra drawer down here. Now this is a removable insert, and this is an option in this model. And what's interesting about this is if your kids are really naughty, you can put them in here, and then you just close this up, and you can put like a little lock on here, and they can't get out. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what it's for. No, what's nice about this though is if you had kennels, or if you had gear that was heavy, I don't know, helmets, whatever it is that you might be taking with you, you can use this, you know, to hang clothing. It doesn't just have to be for children. Of course, there are televisions in both of these bays, and there are screened opening windows. So if you do have kids, it's great. But these are removable. So this whole insert comes out, and you could just have curtains there. And the only reason I mention that is because we are going to bring this slide in, and you'll notice they don't open very well with the slides all the way in. So just make note of that. So here we go. This is the tallest shower out of all of them. It is a radius, but it's a pretty comfortable radius. And as you can see, I kind of have to reach to touch here. But lots of room, fantastic fans in all of them that are rain censored. Great place to lock up your naughty husband as well. You just put this closed and latch it. No, I'm just kidding. You don't, I'm going to get in so much trouble. No, but this is magnetic. So I do like this because it actually shuts and it holds in that air. So you get that vapor barrier, keeping you warm on a cold morning. This potty is a little bit nicer because it has an eco flush or a normal flush or an empty flush. And then, you know, we're all rationing our toilet paper these days, so you can keep lots of extra toilet paper up there. Now this is just a cool vehicle. So I love my Verona. Fantastic tool for camping. And I can't speak highly enough of the quality that you have with this Renegade product, nor the utility. But I'll tell you, if you don't want to buy an RV that's going to last you forever, don't get a Renegade. Because if you're hoping to have one that's kind of a rattle can that you're not going to use forever, this is not your product. This is a super durable, ultra sturdy, really well designed, very, very nice RV on this market. So like I said, lots of room here. Jody's going to go ahead and step on back, and I'm going to show you another trick. So here we go. We've got someone in here taking a shower. I've got my significant other sleeping in. My kids are still sleeping, and I'm up making breakfast. I have so many rooms in such a small space. It's really, really impressive. A lot of overhead storage as well. This is just a great place to keep, like, you know, I don't know, we use a lot of trays so that we can bring all of our condiments and, you know, tomatoes and lettuce and onions out for our burgers, buns, all that stuff, cheese. Great place to keep those bigger trays. Look at the size of this refrigerator. So when you go from 10 cubic feet into something like this, it's like incredible. I mean, you can put like a whole gallon of milk in there, or that really cheesy, like kind of like Dayglow green, like lemonade that's so good when you're camping. Another huge pantry. We were never able to fill this up. You can keep a coffee pot in here. You can keep a rice cooker. You can keep an air dryer. Really, really nice drawer storage as well. I love the XO containers in here. And I love that this comes all the way out. So really, really nice. You get two big drawers, and then you also have these two smaller drawers. Kept all of our flashlights and matches and stuff in these ones. So great, great storage here. And then I love this. Anytime I can have a full-length mirror when I'm getting ready to go in the morning, I'm a super, super fan. I am going to go ahead, in fact, I'll do it from up here. I'm going to put the slide in the back so you can kind of see what this looks like. And Avin's going to go ahead and close up all the slides for the other coaches, just so that we can show you the walking room and all of these Super Cs, because if you have questions about Class A versus Super C and why you would want a diesel pusher versus a front engine diesel, there's a whole other segment waiting for me to do on that one. But one of the nice things about the Class A versus the Class C segment, I don't need my paper out, where's my paper, is going to be the walking room in these Super Cs. So we have a lot of really good walking room in the Forest River, as well as the Valencia, as well as the Renegade. We have more storage here underneath. I think that one has a snap on it. And then again, More seat belts, so equal amount of storage on either one. This drops down very easily. These cushions go on top to make a bed. And then over top here, we have 12 feet of delectable, oh my gosh, so much storage. You can really keep, so we kept our label maker in here. Everything was in an alphabetically labeled container, just under 18 inches deep, 12 feet long. Oh, if you want height, we need to know height, Katie. 7.5 inches. Just really, really fantastic storage. I also really like the brushed nickel, you know, decorative items that you see in the Renegade, along with these LED puck lights the whole way down. This is a very, very comfortable queen size tri-fold bed. So really, really, really comfy. And then when we talk about all three of these as a bunk over cab, I would still say the Valencia is the clear winner, just because it's a little bit taller. But in 2022, when Renegade came out with the bunk over cab option on this coach, so 54 inches deep versus 60 and 58, we were so excited because we really didn't have an RV where you could have two kids, you know, two adults, another two kids. So what are we sleeping? We're sleeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, like, what? You have 9 people camping in this RV if it's bad weather. I mean, how fantastic is that? And then Insignia television here. As of course, when you go up in the price point, you get a little bit nicer accoutrement. You've got a Samsung television, really cool sound bar. There's like these little lights when you sync it up that tell you you're synced to your phone. Undermount sink, residential, and we've got spray and pour faucet head. Lots of great storage up top here for dishes. And then in the longer coaches, when you get into this 40-foot segment, you actually get a little bit bigger drawers. All of these are going to have a whole house water filter, if I didn't mention. And starting in like 2020, you saw like about a 50% take rate on solar panels. I can add solar panels to just about anything. So if you find a coach that you like and you need solar, it's really important to have that. The reason being, it just lets your refrigerator run off of your inverter without you worrying about it when you're stopping to go hiking. Like, you don't need to turn your generator on as often. It's just nice to have. But starting in about 2020, you saw the take rate really go up on solar, and now it's practically standard. This one has 3 175 watt panels run by Zamp. One of the things that's super nice about the Renegade product is the size of the trash can you can have in here, and then the amount of storage you have under the sink is so residential. So we love that. I am going to bring the slide in now on this one. Oh, we didn't talk about something really important. Okay, so we've gone from propane at 9.8 gallons to 20 gallons to 0 gallons. This is an all-electric coach. Where's the benefit in all-electric versus propane? The benefit in all-electric versus propane, first of all, propane gets hotter faster. So just so you know that, diesel does not warm up as quickly. But at the end of the day, sustainability is super important when you're out camping. This one, I'd say that when you get down below freezing, you probably want to call it quits. But all the way down in that really low, you know, probably 10, 15 degree temperature, you're going to find that this coach has what's called hydronic heat. So it's running an antifreeze tube all the way through the undercarriage of the coach. And air is being pushed over the top of that tube that is being heated by your tankless hot water heater. So this one does not have a 10-gallon water tank. It has literally 150 gallons of fresh water, and if you're plugged into 50 amp, or even if you're not, even if you're just running off of your diesel burners, you can run your hydronic heat through this coach. It heats that tube, that air keeps blowing over it, and you really have a completely different level of heat available to you in this coach. So certainly you still have your 15,000 watt, you know, or 15,000 BTU air conditioners with heat pumps. But after about 30 degrees or so, this hydronic heat can take over and really keep your coach nice and toasty, just running off of those diesel tanks without any propane at all. And due to that, we also have an induction cooktop. So huge safety feature here. You could boil a pot of water with a paper towel underneath it without it catching on fire, so you don't have any open flame in this coach. And of course, you have this really huge convection and microwave oven on top of it, so you've got all this full capacity in your kitchen without having to have propane at all, which means when it's time for you to pull up to your campsite and go camping, you don't have to worry about your furnace going out because you ran out of propane. You literally, as long as you've got enough fuel in your gas tank, this one's going to want you to be, you know, about 3/4 full or higher. You can literally keep your coach heated with just diesel, which is fantastic. And of course, with that 8 kilowatt generator, this is a fantastic RV for boondocking. So that's going to be one of the major reasons people look at an all-electric coach, because you have so much better capacity for camping. Now, I'm using the touchpad here on this Firefly to close this slide. It's really important to understand this coach actually has, it's called Mira Vega Touch, and it is a fantastic app from Firefly. I can open and close these slides from outside of the coach on my phone. So if I pull up to a campsite and I would like to put my slides out, I can see whether or not I'm going to hit a tree without waking somebody else up to spot me, which is super, super nice. I do a segment in a video where I show a Superstar versus a Verona. That's one of the major features. It's this Vega Touch Mira system that you have. I can't speak highly enough of it. Really, really convenient. Certainly one of the things that I miss on my Super C. I mean, so I have this fantastic Newmar. It's awesome, awesome vehicle, but that remote control on my phone is a really big benefit to me as a camper. So I mentioned earlier we've got new seats. They're not Flexsteel, but geez, they're super comfy. One thing I can encourage you to look for is armrests on both sides. Really important for long distance driving. And then this coach has Mobileye, and it's a WABCO system. And so what's nice about this is you've got lane tracking as well as distance control and a dual stage engine brake. So nice feature there. Again, Allison 6-speed transmission, Garmin navigation that you can put all of your, you know, specifications in, your height, your weight, etc. So you're not going to go over a bridge that's too heavy. And then, you know, just little things like having places to plug in your phone, and like being able to have, you know, a radar detector in case, you know, you're going too fast in your RV. No, I would highly recommend not speeding in a gigantic semi truck. Heated and power exterior, you know, chrome convex mirrors, heated seats. Again, this is the only bunk over cab that has a skylight above it, which I think is super nice. Kind of let a little extra light in there. And then all three of these are running off of the Equalizer hydraulic leveling system. So super nice there. All three of these have outdoor entertainment. All three of these have a really nice screen door to keep the puppies in. This one's kind of nice because it's got this little metal grate down at the bottom here. So you might have a little less wear and tear from the Pucheronis. And then I love your window cover here, so that's kind of cool. I didn't get that on my 36 VSB because it was a 2020. But take a look at all of this storage. There's so much storage in these Renegades. Really, really fantastic. So all of these coaches, it's about 4 feet long, 27 inches deep, and about 26 inches tall, maybe 27. So super cool. Again, there's your dual latches. This outdoor system is nice because it has, the sound bar underneath. So I love that you have not only this nice Samsung TV outside, USB port so that you can charge your phone, but I love that I can actually just like play some Hendrix, some good old Led Zeppelin, hang out, make some hot dogs with the kiddos, eat some popsicles, do camping stuff. Look at the size of this one. Oh my gosh. So I do have a guy who does not like my measuring tape, but I have about 50 guys who do, so I'm gonna go ahead and measure everything for you guys today because it's kind of important to know how long your door is. So we got 58 inches there, maybe 59. So pretty big storage here. Great place to keep firewood, paddle boards, 28 inches deep once again. And then I'm gonna say, since these are all the same height, we're looking again at about 2 feet tall. No, we're looking at 26, 27 inches tall in that base storage. Oh, and it's nice, you'll see that you have these like little places where you can run things because you've got that dual 110 outlet with GFI grounding up there. So if you want to run something out front, like your blender for margaritas, you can do that. This storage bay is super big. A little deeper, this would be a great place to keep some lawn chairs. I mean, you could keep a whole bunch of them because you can stack them the long way. That's 39 inches, 40 inches to the wall. And I want to say, just from memory, it's about 11 inches to that hilt, but let's just take a look at it, just make sure I get it right. Yeah, 11 inches up there. So really, really nice amount of storage here. And then this is, again, 58 inches long. So really, really big storage here. There's those bunk windows that do open and with screens. Emergency exit out there. If you jump, make sure you put a pillow underneath the door. Here's that air chuck. So that's going to go in the front bay behind the driver's door in this particular coach. And then this storage is actually even bigger underneath. It's also not quite as tall, but it is 5 feet deep. It's crazy amount of storage. So if you've got fishing poles or anything like that that you want to keep underneath here, and this one is, I'm going to say 9 inches, but let me just get back there a little bit closer. 8 inches of clearance right there. But so big storage. This is my favorite place. I talk about this all the time. Here in Colorado, we have to have an Outlander fire pit because a lot of times it is actually too hot and dry, so we've got fire bans. About 28 inches overall in terms of width, and then depth we're looking at about 28 as well. And then I know we keep doing this, but we might as well do it again. About 23 inches tall right there. Really nice mud flap. That is optional. Again, well, towing capacity. So 1,150 foot-pounds of torque, 360 horsepower engine, and now we have a 20,000 pound towing capacity. And of course you can flip that hitch depending what size you need your ball to be. But you'll notice we also added this Voyager system, and that's because a lot of people will be towing a stacker with this or something that needs an extra camera behind it. We have this dual piece fiberglass end cap again, nice LED lights, 36 foot power cord as well. We do give you an adapter so you can adapt down, but this is a 50 amp power cord on a power hose reel. Power cord reel? Don't watch my video, Andrew. Andrew will make fun of me. I always say the wrong thing. We've got this Onan 8 kilowatt generator again. This is a quiet diesel generator. Fantastic, fantastic benefit. And I know I might have mentioned it earlier, but these aluminum wheels are going to be so much better than when you have a steel wheel because they're quieter. They're going to absorb that noise a little bit better, and they're going to have a really nice drive quality. I know I mentioned that between the Verona and the Valencia, you have a little bit of a thicker engraving on these tanks, but it's just so nice that they use that water hose to etch that in there for you, so you don't have to worry about it wearing off. All three of the coaches we looked at today are going to have a whole house water filter, and then both of the Renegades are going to have a 75 gallon gray water tank, a 75 gallon black water tank, and optional 110 volt heat strips on each tank to keep them from freezing, so you can take this out a little bit longer in the season. I've got a lot of clients that use this for snowmobiling. And then here's that difference maker. So here's your 450D. So you have, your 250D, your aqua hot system here, your hydronic heat. This is what gives you endless hot water. So if you're plugged into 50 amp, a sewer and a city water supply, you can literally take a shower for 5 hours straight. The only thing missing on this RV is a bathtub. But nice storage bay here. As you'll notice, it's all lined in rubber down below. Newmar really does a great job at all their attention to detail. Again, just another nice amount of storage underneath here. And this is where you see, the Jaboni in here in the back. Just so you know, that Jaboni right there, that's what's making your solar system talk to your coach. And this coach does not have the optional lithium-ion battery packs. There's a few different thoughts on that. You know, Newmar does not do them either. You can get an optional lithium-ion battery pack that would bring you just under 800 amp hours of storage. We had a Verona, we had a 2020 Verona, we added solar to it. And honestly, with the 300 amp hours of storage that we had in our 3 AGM batteries. We had more than enough capacity to camp, and all we did is we would turn our generator on after dark, make sure we were topped off, and our refrigerator was always cold the next day, just running off of our inverter. But you know, it's just a great system. And then here you'll find your air chuck is up here on this one, and that's actually on the Valencia where your chassis power is. But just a great setup. As I mentioned earlier, both of them have a 100-gallon fuel tank. It's nice to have a dual fill, and this is going to be a 6-gallon DEF tank. Of course, we still have our plug for our engine heater. And then in both of these that we've seen today, we have the optional engine brake integrated here as well. And then here's that 8.9 liter Cummins. So just a great beast. So I hope that that's kind of helped answer some questions for you. If you have more questions, I'm really easy to get a hold of. I sell a ton of Super Cs. My name again is Katie O'Neill. You can find me here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My number is 303-562-8659. Again, 303-562-8659. I hope that this has really helped to get you a little more clarity on all the options in this segment and why you might need what you need. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic Monday. Let us get you out there on the road camping as soon as possible. The weather is perfect. Okay, thanks again.